Hi guys, Simon Power here. This video is the first in a series of video lessons that I'm making as part of my new guitar course. This course is based on some of my favourite guitar players, such as Jimi Hendrix, John Mayer, B.B. King, Robben Ford, John Frusciante. As part of this course, I've created transcriptions of the songs in this course, most of which were live songs. Some of these transcriptions are full transcriptions of the full songs. Some of them are just partial transcriptions. But what I've done for each one of these songs, I've broken them up into sections, A, B, C, D, however many is needed. Usually trying to keep them short enough so that I can make one lesson video for each section. I'm going to take each one of these sections and I'm going to play it for you multiple times, depending. If it's an easy section, I'll play it, say, maybe at 100% and then maybe at 70%. If it's a more tricky section like a solo, I'll play it 100%, 70%, and then maybe at a really slow tempo, like 50%. Right, let's get to the first tune that we're going to be learning. This is Who Knows by Jimi Hendrix off the Band of Gypsys record. The basis of it is just one riff, which is really good to loop. It's a great song to jam out with your friends, or even if you like using looper pedals, it's a great tune. It's a great riff to just loop and then jam on top of. The tuning of this song is a little bit funny. We're down a half step. However, to match the recording, you actually have to tune a little bit further than a half step. It's a little bit flatter than half step. So you'll be tuning about 20 cents flatter than half step to match Jimmy. Right now I'm just tuned just normal half step down, and I'm just going to be playing with a backing track which I've created. Right, let's get to the song. Okay, so now we're going to break down the song Who Knows. Okay, so I've just come up with a few of the features of the tune here that it would be good to sort of go over as we go through this lesson. So the first one is what key we're in and what scales we'll be using. We're mostly just using one scale here, the D minor blues scale. Okay, so in the D minor blues scale we have got D, which is our root, F, which is the flat 3, we've got G, which is the 4th, then we have A flat, which is a flat and 5th, then we have A, which is a 5th, and then we have C, which is a flat 7. Okay, so that's mostly the notes we'll be using. Generally he's using this part of the neck here, so we're playing at the 10th position. So it would be really good at the start to maybe just play through this scale and maybe just run this a few times. Okay, so going from the low E string up to the high E string, we've got 10, 12, 10, 11, 12, 10, 12, 10, 12, 13, 10, 13, 10, 13. Okay, so we want to play through this scale a couple of times. Right. He also uses the D minor blues scale down at the kind of low register. Okay, so down here around about the 3rd position, and also he uses it. So if we got a D here, 5th fret on the A string, he's going to use this, and he's also going to use the notes lower than that. Okay, so a lot of times when people learn a scale, they'll learn it from sort of one note up to the next octave above. So it's good to be able to know whichever position you're at. If you want to go lower than your root note, it's good to know where those notes would be. So if we've got D, if we keep on going down the scale, we could go here to C on the 3rd fret, that's our flat 7. A, which is our 5, A flat, which is our flat 5, G, which is our 4, and F, which is our flat 3. So, okay, so that's D, C, A flat, G, F, and then of course we can't finish off the scale down there because we don't have a low D, but you can sort of resolve the scale by jumping back up the octave. Okay, right, so that's the scale that we'll be using. Okay, right, let's start playing through this tune. Okay, today so this first video I'm just going to look at the intro section. So, okay, it starts off like this. Okay, so right, what was going on there? Okay, so we've just got our main riff, okay, which is this one. So the guitar brings it in, okay, so he plays that riff just like that twice, okay. Then what you see here is Hendrix develops that riff a little bit. So how he does that is, instead of ending it on the C, which is the flat 7, he ends it on the G. Okay, so that just opens up the riff a bit, okay? Just develops it a little bit. He does that twice. Then in the next bar, he does this. Okay, so this is cool, right? The riff, okay, it goes D, D, C, D, C, A flat, G. So when he gets to this normal G note, which is part of the riff, he turns this into a chord. He turns it into a 5 chord, right? And it just gives the riff a little bit more sort of. It just makes it a little bit more aggressive, you know. And again, it's just about taking something that starts off being really quiet and small. And you'll hear his tone at the very start of the recording. You hear a guy introduce the band, and Hendrix has already started playing, and it's almost as if he's trying to keep his guitar down so that the guy can introduce the band, and he's playing really clean. I think he might have the fuzz pedal turned off maybe, and he starts off and it sounds really clean. You know, now I can sort of mimic that here. I've got a distortion pedal on. I'm mimicking that here just by turning my volume all the way down to about 3, so it sounds like I'm clean. Okay, but you'll see as he goes through this intro riff, he's opening up, you know, developing it, right? So we've got 2 bars with the first little statement, then another 2 bars where the last note is changed, okay? And then he gets 1 bar with the aggressive chord, and then in the next bar, I think you hear him. He either brings up his volume, or he clicks on a fuzz pedal. I think he clicks on a fuzz pedal in this bar. Okay, you can hear something change. There's just more a little bit more fuzz, a little bit more distortion, and then actually you hear him then dip down his volume. You can hear it's like the volume shoots up. And then it's obviously you add a little bit too much distortion, so you can hear him sort of roll it down again halfway through. But anyway, okay, so then we get this phrase again, but now just with a bit more aggression on the tone. And then the band enters, right, and bass and drums. And then Hendrix, he just plays that riff once the full band has entered, okay, and then he jumps out, okay, he jumps out and he lets the bass just take over, okay, and because he's established this riff so well in the ear at this point, all it needs is just the bass and drums, okay, and then he can just start putting in little ornaments on top. Okay, so it's mostly empty space, but just with little bits of sort of kind of flair. So the first is a little lick like this, something like that. Okay, so he's playing the flat 3 there, the G, 10 on the G string. Oh no, that's the F, sorry. Flat 3 is the F. And this lick, when I was transposing this, I wasn't exactly sure what was going on here. He might have gone, or maybe just, it sounds like he's kind of doing one of these rolling kind of, it's like he's pulling off, doing this pull off, but it goes right through the scale, you know? Through the D minor pentatonic. So I usually play that like this. So I go on the D string, 12-10, and then on the low E string, 13-10. That works for me. It's not. I don't think it's exactly what he's doing, but it's close enough for me. Okay. The next thing then he just goes. Okay, so that's right. 10 on the G. 12, 10, 12. Okay. And then you get this. Right? So now we start actually putting in some real licks. Okay? So 13 on the B string. And then bent up. Okay, so that's the end of the A section. Three, four.